This is Cyberpunk 2077 Condensed. You play as V, a mercenary who's aspiring to be a legend in Night City. You can choose from 3 life paths: Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo. Each life path has its own unique prologue, but the main story afterward will not be affected. If you start as a Nomad, your story begins in a garage.
You said it was nothing serious when I came in. You said you were sure.
After fixing up your car, you head towards a radio tower where you reach out to a friend from the Nomad clan you deserted. As a last favor, the friend sends you the coordinates of the client you're supposed to meet with. The coordinates lead you to some old shack where you meet Jackie Wells, your client.
Jackie, por favor.
I'm V.
The cargo.
Let's load it in the car.
With the contraband loaded into the car, you and Jackie drive towards a border crossing.
The owner of the vehicle in the inspection area will report for further questioning.
A brief interview with the border guard seems to go a bit too smoothly, raising your suspicions. You and Jackie leave, and a corporate convoy starts to chase after you. After shaking them loose, the two of you take shelter in a garage. Out of curiosity, you open up the crate and find out that the package you're smuggling is an iguana, a rare variety that supposedly went extinct. After Jackie offers to split the profits on the iguana, you both decide to team up.
Time to grab the lizard and scurry out of here.
Alright, so let's rewind and go over the Street Kid life path. Your story kicks off in a bar. The bartender asks you to help him settle a debt with a fixer. You meet the fixer, who tells you to steal a car for him, promising to settle the debt in return. Upon finding the car and starting it up, Jackie intervenes.
Get the out.
The police quickly surround the two of you, and the car's owner orders to have you both executed. But instead of taking your lives, the police knock you and Jackie unconscious and dump the two of you in some alleyway. Despite the rocky start, Jackie quickly warms up to you and asks to have lunch.
Okay, food it is. Let's go.
Let's go back once more and go through the corporal life path.
V, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
As a high-ranking counterintelligence operative agent working for Arasaka, a powerful mega corporation, the job is hella stressing you out. Anyhow, you meet with Jenkins, your direct superior.
You know what to do. Start now.
Jenkins asks you to assassinate Abernathy, the higher-up that stole his position. You're gonna need some help, so you meet up with Jackie at a bar and ask him to help with your assassination job, but he's not exactly gung-ho about it. Shortly after, Abernathy's lackeys show up, demanding that you hand over the data you got from Jenkins. Your corporate status is taken away from you, along with their cybernetic enhancements. The agents also try to take you in, but they back down when Jackie threatens them. Despite the loss of your livelihood, Jackie sees this as your liberation from the corporate world.
Your new life. It starts now.
Whether you chose Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo, it all leads to you teaming up with Jackie and taking on random mercenary jobs in Night City. 6 months later, you and Jackie are given a mission to rescue a client. You neutralize the captors one way or the other and find the client in an ice bath. She is alive, just barely, so you call in trauma team and they take her away. Jackie gives you a ride back to your apartment and you call it a night. The next day, you meet up with Jackie and he tells you about Dexter Deshawn, one of Night City's top fixers.
Well, our savior wants to tell you everything himself. Face to face. No pressure, but whole deal's riding on you now, chica.
So you agree to meet up with him to talk business. But first you drop by to visit Victor, a Ripper Dog, so that you can implant some new cyberware.
Kuroshi optics. Best I've got, and should be about right under the circumstances.
Victor equips you with a fresh grip and optic implant and wishes you luck on your upcoming job. You become introduced to Dexter in his car where he briefs you on the job ahead.
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Job's to grab it. Simple.
The biochip is Arasaka property, which is a huge deal because, in case you need a reminder, Arasaka is the world's most powerful mega corporation. In order for this heist to work out, you will need to pick up a Flathead, a prototype combat bot. The Flathead's Militech property, but it was taken by the Maelstrom gang. You can choose to side with Militech or Maelstrom, and you can solve things diplomatically or go with a guns blazing approach. However you decide to do things, you'll ultimately end up with the Flathead. Next on the agenda is to meet with the client, Evelyn Parker, the one who requested to have the biochip swiped from Arasaka. You find her at a bar and she takes you to a private room to chat.
Your target. I trust you know what it is.
Relic. Secure your soul trinket. Key tech in the program, actually.
She informs you that the biochip is at the top floor of Kompeki Plaza, a luxurious hotel which happens to be occupied by Yorinobu Arasaka, son of Saburo Arasaka. Let me do a really quick lore rundown. Saburo Arasaka is the CEO of the Arasaka Corporation. Saburo wanted his son Yorinobu to be the heir to the company, but Yorinobu was at odds with his father's principles. As an act of defiance, Yorinobu founded the Steel Dragons, a rebel group devoted to Arasaka's destruction. Although Arasaka proved to be too powerful to take down, Yorinobu figured he could still hurt the company from the inside. Yorinobu stole a biochip from an Arasaka lab and is planning to sell it to Netwatch, a global policing organization. But Evelyn wants to take the biochip first and sell it to Netwatch herself. So anyway, after talking for a while, Evelyn takes you to the basement to meet Judy, a skilled braindance editor.
How about it, V? Raw brain dance. Ever taken a dip before?
Braindance is technology that allows you to record and play back someone's memories. The plan is to analyze braindance footage of Evelyn's memories while she was in Yorinobu's room, allowing you to find out where the biochip is. So, with some guidance, you initiate the braindance.
Alright, V, eyes open. Gotta find out where Yorinobu's keeping the relic.
You look like a cut of f***able meat, are you?
Evelyn.
That metal hunk that walked past is Adam Smasher, Yorinobu's personal bodyguard. The braindance footage consists of Yorinobu talking shit about his dad, and it ends right as he starts to get freaky with Evelyn. After you scan the room and find the hidden safe with the biochip, you exit the braindance. You meet up with Jackie and head inside Afterlife, a club where mercenaries will meet with high-profile fixers. Inside the club, you meet with Dexter and T-Bug, the netrunner of the group. Dexter lays out the plan. You and Jackie will be given fake identities, allowing entry into the hotel, and T-Bug will hack the security systems. Once T-Bug's through, you'll be able to take the biochip from Yorinobu's room. The heist kicks off as you and Jackie hop inside a cab controlled by an AI named Delamain, which takes you to Konpeki Plaza.
Delamain, initiate combat mode.
My apologies, but you do not appear to be in any sort of imminent danger.
After slipping through the hotel staff, you deploy the flathead once you're in your hotel room. You guide the flathead into a netrunner room, but T-Bug says it's going to take some time to get past security. When T-Bug gets through, you and Jackie gain entry to Yorinobu's penthouse. You acquire the safe, but Yorinobu's already on his way back. There's no time to escape, so you and Jackie hide inside a TV screen. Yorinobu and Adam Smasher enter the room, and shortly after, they're joined by Saburo Arasaka and his bodyguard, Goro Takamura.
Oh, fuck.
外してくれ。荒坂様、まだボディチェックが終わっていません。私の息子だ。
After Adam and Takamura leave on Saburo's command, Saburo confronts Yorinobu about the stolen biochip. Saburo harshly berates Yorinobu, pushing Yorinobu to his boiling point.
貴様の母親が生きていなくてよかった。息子の不甲斐ない姿を目の当たりにして、心を痛めずに済んだのだからな。 これでもう誰のことも許す必要はない。
Yorinobu puts the hotel on lockdown, declaring his father's death. Upon Takamura's return, Yorinobu claims that Saburo was poisoned, which doesn't seem to convince Takamura. But now that Yorinobu is the head of Arasaka, Takamura has no choice but to obey him. Once the room is cleared, T-Bug directs you to the balcony. It doesn't take long before T-Bug is detected by the Arasaka subnet and meets her demise.
I've been made!
Bug!
While fleeing from an Arasaka aircraft, you and Jackie fall through a glass roof. The biochip's container gets damaged, leading Jackie to insert the biochip into its neural port to preserve its integrity. You and Jackie fight your way out of the hotel and get inside the Delamain cab. You successfully make a getaway, but Jackie is fatally wounded. With his dying breath, Jackie inserts the biochip into your neural port before passing away.
See you in the major leagues, Jack.
The cab arrives at a motel where you meet with Dexter. Saburo's death is making headlines everywhere, and Dexter's pretty pissed about getting dragged into this mess. After a quick trip to the bathroom, you return to find out what Dexter's decided to do with you.
Alright then.
Dex! What the
No
fuck?
is a glory for me.
Traveling back in time 54 years, you're now reliving someone else's memories. The memories belong to Johnny Silverhand, a famous rocker boy with a strong grudge against Megacorps, Arasaka in particular.
I'm here to say goodbye to all of you.
After wrapping up his last concert, he sets off to attack Arasaka Tower. Johnny races the tower with his ragtag team and plants a bomb.
Bushido 2, bomb's name is what?
Wrap it up! We got a Delta!
The Demolitron. We're good to blow.
On his way to escape, Johnny gets intercepted by Atom Smasher, resulting in his capture by Arasaka while his team manages to slip away. While Johnny's being interrogated, Saburo himself drops in.
なぜこのようなことを
To bring an end to the madness you wreak.
社は雄弁だが彼らは決して嘘をつかない
The Soul Killer program is used on Johnny, killing him while his consciousness is copied and digitized. Switching back to your perspective, you wake up in a landfill. Dexter drags you out for Takamura, after which Takamura shoots him.
I have done exactly what you asked. So let's you and me figure.
Takamura takes you into his vehicle, and together you fend off a gang of motorcyclists. The car ends up crashing, so you call Delamain to take the two of you to Victor.
I think I have the socket.
Now proceed to connect.
When you arrive, Victor fixes you up before tending to Takamura. After a while, you become wakeful enough for Victor to explain your situation.
And then, promise not to laugh. I plant a bomb in Arasaka Tower.
You weren't dreaming, V. Those were memories.
The biochip implanted in your head contains Johnny Silverhand's engram, which is his personality construct. After you were shot in the head, the biochip went into action, repairing the damage. But your psyche is seen as a foreign entity to the biochip, so your mind will slowly be overridden by Johnny's engram.
You don't have much time left. Much life. A few weeks tops.
Taking the biochip out would just kill you immediately, so that's not an option. Misty, a close friend of Victor and Jackie's girlfriend, takes you home. Misty offers you two meds, omega blockers and pseudoendotrizine. The omega blockers will suppress Johnny's presence in your mind, while the pseudoendotrizine would do the opposite.
Listen, you're likely to be fine for a while. But sometime down the road, it could turn into pure agony. I'm giving you options, honey. Here, got one more thing for you. Vic pulled this out of your skull. A lucky charm?
Going to sleep, you later wake up to Johnny, who's being rather aggressive.
Who you work for, start talking!
He quickly realizes that he's just an engram in your head and gets even more angsty, so you take an omega blocker to shut him up. After a rough night, Takamura calls and asks to meet at a diner. At the diner, Takamura explains he saved you since you're a key witness to Saburo's murder by Yorinobu's hands. Takamura makes a deal. If you help him bring Yorinobu to justice, he will help you with your biochip problem. You'll need to track down Evelyn Parker and find Anders Hellman, the one who pioneered the development of the biochip, aka the relic. Takamura leaves, and Johnny pops in to call a truce with you.
You know, you've got some nerve. First you're out to kill me, now you want to be my pal, make like nothing happened?
You know you don't gotta speak out loud to talk to me.
What do you want?
And I've processed some shit, changed my mind. Don't want you dead anymore.
He suggests you get in touch with Rogue, his ex-girlfriend. Rogue was part of Johnny's raid on Arasaka Tower. She's well over 80 years old by now. So first, you go to Judy and ask her where to look for Evelyn. She says Evelyn used to work as a doll, which simply put is a sex worker. Evelyn worked at Clouds, one of the top doll houses in the city, so you decide to head there. When you arrive, you make an appointment with the doll to get more information on Evelyn's whereabouts. The doll's behavior is controlled by your preferences, and their memories are wiped after each session. You can choose to have a deep conversation about yourself, or just cut to the chase and ask about Evelyn. Either way, the doll will direct you towards Tom, another doll in Clouds.
You better keep this short and sweet. 2 brainwashed sex zombies in a single day is too much, even for me.
Tom says that Evelyn had some kind of accident and ended up in some clinic. He directs you to Woodman, the owner of Clouds. You can choose to get information out of Woodman civilly or by force. Either way, you find out that the clinic Evelyn stopped by is in Jig Street. When you exit Clouds, you suffer from a relic malfunction. Johnny decides to make his intentions with you clear.
See, me and Arasaka, we gotta have century-old score needs settling, and I plan to do it. That's what I need you for.
He tells you about Mikoshi, a data fortress belonging to Arasaka, something that could save your life. Getting back to business, you head to Jig Street to find the clinic Evelyn was at. The clinic's ripper dog, Fingers, says that Evelyn showed up at his door in a critical state. He couldn't do much to patch her up, so he sent her away. The only lead you have is a Death's Head Moth Virtue.
But that's really all I know.
You pawned her off like she was some f***ing inanimate mannequin.
Because that's exactly what she was.
You find a brain dance with a dev set from a black market dealer, and Judy helps you navigate it. After analyzing the environment, you discover it was recorded in some power plants, so you and Judy head on over. You take down the scavs and find Evelyn in the basement, comatose and in really bad shape. You take Evelyn back to Judy's apartment, and after some time, she seems to be getting better, but she's mostly bedridden and unresponsive. Judy extracts 2 brain dances from Evelyn, but the data is encrypted, so you're unable to make out who the people are. Though you are able to gather enough clues to find out that Evelyn was working with a contractor from the Voodoo Boys, a Haitian gang dedicated to uncovering the mysteries of cyberspace. The Voodoo Boys are highly distrustful of outsiders, but they are willing to get in touch if you assist them with a job. You meet Placide, the second in command of the Voodoo Boys, at some butcher shop.
What do you want?
Mr. Hand sent me. Said you got merc work needs doing.
No here. Come with.
Placide takes you to his base and gets right to business. You are to infiltrate a rival gang's hideout and jack into a van. The van contains some pretty advanced tech, so Placide wants to see if there's any funky business going on. Finish this job and you'll be able to meet Brigitte, the leader. You head into the mall where the rival gang is situated and deal with the gang members one way or the other. You find the van, jack into it, and find out that the van belongs to Netwatch. Placide tells you to find the Netwatch agent nearby and confront him. When you find the agent, he cuts off your connection to Placide so he can't overhear.
Had a Spectre on you, didn't you? Saw and heard all you did, you followed his orders? No idea what the Voodoo Boys are paying you, but our pockets are deeper.
The agent claims that once you finish the job for the Voodoo Boys, they'll off you using the virus they implanted in you. If you side with the agent, he'll remove the virus for you, or you can choose to knock out the agent and finish the job for Placide. If you choose the latter, you find out the agent was indeed telling the truth. Placide will attempt to fry your brain with the virus. You somehow survive though, which I'm assuming is thanks to the relic in your head.
Soon as you gave them access to the Netwatch web, they roasted all the agents. And you.
Side with Netwatch or not, either way, you return to Placide, who's surprised to see you alive.
You return? How? How you manage this?
You set me up!
You boozer, sal!
Assez! Quittez-nous!
Brigitte shows up and makes a bargain. She will see to your relic problem after she collects the data from your biochip. Her goal is to contact Alt Cunningham, a powerful rogue AI. Some believe that rogue AIs will inevitably conquer the virtual world, and the Voodoo Boys are aiming to be on their side once the time comes. Anyway, Johnny used to be intimate with Alt back when she used to be human, so Brigitte plans to use Johnny's engram to communicate with Alt. You dive into cyberspace and probe through Johnny's memories. Johnny finishes a concert gone wild, gets into a fight with a band member, mashes pistols with Alt, and not long after, Alt gets abducted by some goons hired by Arasaka. Johnny gets Rogue and a few others to break into Arasaka Tower to save Alt. The crew fights through waves of Arasaka forces until they find Alt, who's jacked into Soul Killer.
I put her to work on a project of a lifetime.
Get out of my way.
Johnny unplugs Alt from the mainframe, inadvertently killing her.
Johnny.
Are you still rolling?
She's dead.
The playback of Johnny's memories ends here, and it's revealed that Alt's digital consciousness was preserved. So, Brigitte takes you beyond the black wall to meet Alt.
What's going on?
We will talk here.
Relax. Let me handle this.
I cannot help you. To attempt to do so, I would need access to more advanced technology.
To no surprise, Alt reveals that the Voodoo Boys have no intention of keeping their end of the deal. Alt says that if you make it to Mikoshi, she will turn you into an engram, separate you from Johnny, and then put you back in her body. So you wake up in real space, and if you sided with Netwatch earlier, the Voodoo Boys around you will be killed by Alt, and you have to kill the rest of them on your way out. If not, Brigitte will let you walk away unharmed. But since the Voodoo Boys have been exploiting you from the start, I think it's fair to let them have it. Anyway, it's high time you met Rogue, so you head to Afterlife.
Name's V.
And what is it you want, V?
All these years, it's really her. F***ing Rogue, just kicking it back on a couch at the Afterlife.
Coming face to face with Rogue, you ask her about Anders Hellman, the director of the Relic project. Rogue has a strong hunch that Hellman is being escorted by Kang Tao, a Chinese weapons manufacturer. She recommends you to bring in a skilled nomad driver by the name Pan Am Palmer to help you with this job. So you head on over to meet Pan Am, who's not in a cheerful mood.
Where's my car?
Why does it matter? What's wrong with this one?
It's borrowed. It's not mine. I asked where my car is.
Having lost her car in gear in a previous job, Panam agrees to help with your job if you help get her stuff back. But first, she needs to stop by to visit the Aldecaldos, the nomad clan she recently parted ways with. She turns to her friends Mitch and Scorpion for help, but they're not permitted to, but they do let her take some gear for the road. You and Panam head to a ghost town where the two of you prepare to ambush the nomad clan that stole Panam's stuff. Nightfall arrives, and the ambush is carried out successfully. Panam gets her stuff back, but she wants to confront Nash, the one who betrayed her. So you and Panam drive into a tunnel where they're holed up and shoot up Nash and his crew. With the stolen merch now secured, you head to a motel with her where she hands over the merch to her client, finishing her job. Now that Panam's got her business done, she agrees to help you the next day. You and Panam head to a Kangtao power plant, mess up their systems, and wait for the aircraft holding Hellman to crash. The last part doesn't go as planned, so Panam improvises.
That's how you do it! It's losing altitude!
The two of you chase after the crashing aircraft, but Mitch and Scorpion spot it and follow suit. They have no idea the aircraft belongs to a corp, and Panam can't reach them through comms, so you have to reach the aircraft before Mitch and Scorpion do. But your arrival at the crash zone is too late. You find that the Aldecaldos in the area were killed, save for Mitch. So you clear out the Kangtao operatives and find Mitch being held hostage inside the crash aircraft.
You remember the cowboy, don't you?
Panam!
God damn it!
Oh sh**.
Mitch says that Hellman was taken away by Kangtao, so you and Panam manage to track him down and find him in some gas station.
We gotta talk.
Who are you working for? Yorinobu Arasaka.
You knock him unconscious and take him outside, where the Aldecaldos are waiting. Saul, the leader of the Aldecaldos, shows up and vents his frustration at the loss of his clan members.
When you're an Aldecaldo, you are always responsible for yourself and your people. The circumstances change nothing. Perhaps Panam should ask herself if she's still an Aldecaldo.
Anyhow, Panam is still thankful for your help, and she lets you keep Scorpion's motorcycle. Now that your business with Panam's all wrapped up, you take Hellman to a motel and begin interrogating him. You tell Hellman about the biochip situation, and he explains that your specific biochip is a prototype, a personal project that Saburo Arasaka commissioned himself. Hellman analyzes your biochip and has bad news for you. Your neural network can no longer function without the biochip. In other words, you're f***ed. But Hellman does give you the blueprints to the project's documentation, which might give you the means to find someone or something else that can help. Takemura shows up, so now it's his turn to probe Hellman for answers.
He's all yours. I'll give you two some space.
A while later, you meet with Takemura back in the city. Takemura sets up a meeting with Oda, a former cohort from Arasaka.
I need a guarantee I'm safe here.
You have it. V, you can trust Oda.
You attempt to tell Oda the truth behind Saburo's murder, but he refuses to hear you out. You ask to just have a moment to talk with Hanako, Saburo's daughter, but Oda denies this also. So, Oda leaves, and Takemura thinks of another plan. Oda mentioned there's going to be a parade to commemorate Saburo's passing, and Hanako herself is going to be there. Takemura wants to use the event as a chance to speak with her. Keep in mind that Takemura is a fugitive right now, so it's not like he can just straight up request an audience with Hanako. You and Takemura meet up with Wakako, a prominent fixer in the area.
Takemura Goro です。岡田さん、お会いできて光栄です。
Ah, a true gentleman.
After you explain the situation, Wakako provides a layout of the area and what the parade will entail. Despite the risk of giving such info, Wakako demands nothing in return. Before the night of the parade, there's a few things to take care of. First, you need to hack into the area's security systems, and then sneak into an Arasaka compound to hack Hanako's float. Once that's taken care of, you're set to meet up with Takemura on the night of the parade. He shows you the positions of 3 snipers and tells you to take them out, which will give him an opening to jump onto Hanako's float. Once the parade begins, you get right to work.
I am in position. The floats have started to move.
After you neutralize the 3 snipers, Takemura updates you on a new problem. A netrunner is getting in the way of hijacking Hanako's float. Right as you find the netrunner and unplug her, Oda pops in out of nowhere. As you battle with Oda, Takemura pleads for you to spare his life. After you kill Oda or just knock him cold, you jack into Hanako's float systems and disable the security, allowing Takemura to get inside.
Goro, all systems jammed. It's now or never.
あなたはお許しを。どうか話だけでもお聞きください。三郎様は
父のことを口にしないで。
これが俺にできる最後のご奉仕なのです。三郎様の死について真実を明かすことが。花子様、無礼を働きたくありません。しかし。V, ram!
That went as smooth as sandpaper, so Takemura is forced to take Hanako to some dingy apartment. Joining Takemura, you try to tell Hanako that Yorinobu murdered Saburo, but of course she's not having it. It doesn't take long for Arasaka to come and wreak absolute havoc on the building. Their decision to immediately shoot up the building is a bit perplexing considering Hanako being here. But anyway, you end up having to fight your way out. If you decide to leave without Takamura, he will not survive and you won't see him for the rest of the game. But if you want him to live, you'll have to go back to the 3rd floor and fight your way out with him. After escaping the apartment, Takamura will part ways with you.
We must go different ways! Alone we have a better chance!
Really? Think so?
Then go! Now!
Either way, you'll end up in a rundown motel, alone and paranoid. Eventually, someone does end up finding you, but not in the way you'd expect.
Finally. Ugh. That on the wall, is that blood? It'll start soon.
This woman's a doll who's serving as a proxy messenger for Hanako to speak through.
I must make one thing clear. I still think you are mad, but...
Hanako? That you?
But I can fool myself no longer. I believe you.
Hanako has come to terms with her brother's patricide and agrees to negotiate. You will testify against Yorinobu, and in return, she will help you with your biochip problem. She sets up a rendezvous point at Embers in the city center for the two of you to meet in person. The meeting ends, and shortly after, you get hit by an intense relic malfunction. You wake up in some rundown hotel where Johnny admits he took control for a bit in order to take you somewhere safe. After having a heart-to-heart talk, Johnny requests a simple favor, to take down his arch-nemesis, Adam Smasher.
Whatever happens to me, I want him zeroed, gone, tossed into the wind as mulch.
Now, we are entering the final act of the story. You will arrive at Embers and meet with Hanako.
Thanks for meeting me.
Of course, V. And I thank you.
She informs you that the Arasaka board members already knew that Saburo's alleged poisoning as the cause of his death was complete BS. Yet, no one bothered to step up and do anything about it. Yorinobu is going to have a board meeting soon, and that would be your opportunity to tell the truth. After the meeting ends, your condition reaches a critical point and you pass out in the elevator.
We breach the tower. Alt cracks open Makoshi. Then I f*** up that. Great, you checking out again?
Johnny takes control and takes your body to Victor's clinic, where you wake up as yourself again. Victor says that your time is almost up, so he gives you a last dose of an omega blocker and pseudo-endotrizine, and also a gun if you decide to put an end to it all. Understanding your dilemma, Misty takes you to a rooftop and leaves, allowing you to collect your thoughts. At this point, you're at a crossroads, and the choice you make will determine a certain ending. Let's get the worst ending out of the way first. You can't decide to end everything now, and Johnny's response is surprisingly empathetic.
Okay. Lost me. Realized the shit we've been through to get this far.
Sure do.
To let it all go now. Why?
Cleanest, least bloody option. We try anything else, people will die.
V, you sure about this?
Long as you got nothing against it.
Not how I'd have done it. But that's all right. Been nice working with you, V.
Yeah. With you too, Johnny.
Alright, so let's move on to the next worst ending, siding with Arasaka. You take an omega blocker and then call Hanako to accept her offer.
I will send someone for you. They will drive you to the residence. Then we shall visit my brother together at the Arasaka Tower.
Takamura and Hellman will come to pick you up. If you failed to save Takamura previously, Hellman will come alone instead. You're taken to the Arasaka estate where you'll take down Yorinobu's forces. Meeting up with Hanako, you take a ride in an aircraft with her alongside Hellman and Takamura. After a long, depressing ride, you arrive at Arasaka Tower and Hanako takes you to meet someone you probably weren't expecting.
I sought his counsel.
Whose?
The meeting with Saburo can go one or two ways, but in any event, you ultimately proceed to the board meeting with Hanako. You take a seat and give your testimony. However, this doesn't seem to sway the board members, so Hanako brings in her father. After Saburo puts everyone in their place and grants Hanako full power, the meeting is suddenly interrupted by Arasaka soldiers shooting up the board members. After you fend off the attackers, Hanako tells you to find Yorinobu and detain him. You battle your way through the upper atrium until your path is blocked by none other than Adam Smasher himself.
Your meat is
Despite your deteriorating health, you're able to wear him down until he's rendered defenseless, leaving you to decide his ultimate fate. Kill him or not, you move forward and confront Yorinobu in his office. Upon meeting Yorinobu face to face, he makes no effort to fight back whatsoever. He aspired to finish what Johnny started, to destroy Arasaka from the inside, but appears this plan is already doomed.
These people had a chance today, but they lost it.
Hanako appears and cradles Yorinobu, but unbeknownst to him, his sister is not on his side.
I will keep my end of our agreement.
Come, time to look to your problem.
As you enter an elevator with Hellman, you suddenly lose consciousness. Awakening in cyberspace, you talk with Johnny for the last time.
You remind me of someone. The Johnny of yore never gave a shit about anyone. Betrayal came easy, was something to brag about.
Johnny's disappointed that you sold yourself to Arasaka, considering it to be the ultimate self-betrayal. He bitterly parts ways with you for good, and you wake up in an Arasaka clinic in outer space.
How I got here.
Some memories you have lost permanently. Others will return in time.
You're led to your living quarters and watch the news, learning that Saburo has taken over his son's body via biochip. A doctor comes into your room, beginning your physical and cognitive examinations.
Solve the cube. Higher order representation formation, initiating test. Please connect to the device.
With each passing moment, the continual testing, unsettling hallucinations, and prolonged isolation begin to wear down on your mental health.
Solve the cube. Please step onto the treadmill. As quickly as you can, without thinking about it. V.
No.
Cognitive function test. Solve the cube.
Fuck! No, enough! I've had it. Fucking hate this place! Fuck you all! Enough! I'm done!
After a period of time, Hellman or Takamura pays you a visit.
It is an awful place. It is no wonder you are losing your mind.
The specific person doesn't really matter because they both deliver the same message. The surgery to remove the biochip was technically a success, but the damage has already been done.
You will be dead before winter.
With only 6 months left to live, you're given a choice. Arasaka offers you the option to give up your current body, and they will store your engram until a new compatible body becomes available. Since an engram isn't technically a person, your human rights will be revoked. So, if you refuse to sign the contract, you get to go home right away.
Got no idea how sweet it is to be free.
Goodbye, B.
As you walk towards the shuttle, you stop to take a good look at Earth, and then the game ends here. Should you choose to sign the contract, you'll be taken to the surgery room and the story comes to a close as the operation begins. And that was the devil ending of the game, where he sided with Arasaka. Let's go back to the rooftop scene and see what happens if you let Johnny take over and attack Arasaka Tower with Rogue. This option will only be available if you completed Johnny's side quests, during which you let him handle his unfinished business.
See you on the other side.
With Johnny at the helm, he heads to Afterlife to have a chat with Rogue.
You want something, and that's always a bad sign.
Against her better judgment, Rogue is swayed by Johnny and agrees to, once again, embark on the suicide mission to attack Arasaka Tower. Joined by just one other guy, the trio gear up and go over the plan. They'll fly in using a tactical bomber, breach the 76th floor, and navigate to the lower levels where Mikoshi's access point is located. The only thing left to do is get Alt Cunningham on board. Johnny ventures into cyberspace to talk with Alt, who's willing to help by disabling Arasaka's satellite and guiding the way to
I know how we get.
It's beneath Arasaka Tower. Predictable.
Johnny returns to real space and the raid commences.
Not this time, honey.
While en route, the aircraft comes under fire, leading Johnny and Rogue to leap out and land inside the tower. Johnny and Rogue reunite with their teammate, and the trio battle their way down Arasaka Tower. Once Alt's connected to the systems, the security's compromised and she eliminates much of the opposing force. Near Mikoshi's entry point, Adam Smasher makes a sudden appearance.
I remember you.
Eat shit and die, bastard!
Bastard smasher!
Interesting.
Johnny engages in a fierce battle till Adam's worn down. Adam can be left alive, but that wouldn't make any sense to Johnny's story arc. Regardless, Johnny heads inside the access point and connects to Mikoshi, plunging into cyberspace. Johnny comes face to face with the engramified you.
Hey, V. Happy to see me?
Blacked out, then woke up here. I miss anything?
Alt shows up and shares the uncomfortable truth that even if you were to return to your body, your eventual death is unavoidable. It would make more sense for Johnny to take your body, which has adapted to accommodate for him.
I will not interfere in your personal affairs, but while Johnny has full control, he can do what he wishes.
So Johnny can make the choice to let you live out the time you have left or claim your body for himself. Should Johnny opt to keep your body, you will merge into Alt, along with all the other engrams in Mikoshi.
Don't make this any harder, eh? Just don't forget I came around.
The following events happen after some unspecified period of time. After waking up in some apartment, Johnny pays a visit to some teenager named Steve.
Hey!
Hey, guy.
While Steve's home life seems tough, he finds solace in Johnny, who Steve holds in high regard.
Be back soon.
Back inside now!
Leave him alone and watch that tone.
Think I'm scared? You're another bum like the rest of us.
Wanna try me? Go ahead.
I don't have time for this shit.
Together, they head out and make their way to a music store, where Johnny decides to splurge on a high-end vintage guitar. Next, they briefly stop by a columbarium where Johnny leaves behind your pendant to honor your memory. Afterwards, Johnny gets on a bus alone, deciding to leave Night City for good.
Stop the bus! Hey! Get off!
Steve hurries to the bus to return the guitar Johnny bought, not realizing that Johnny had no intention of keeping it himself. And with that, the game comes to a close as Johnny gazes out the window, thankful for a second chance at life. So that was the Temperance ending. Let's rewind back to the rooftop scene again and see what happens in the secret ending. If your connection with Johnny is strong enough and you take too long to make a decision, Johnny will suggest a batshit crazy plan. Actually, calling it a plan would be generous. The idea is to stroll through the front entrance of Arasaka Tower all on your lonesome and fight your way to the lower levels. That's it. If you happen to be insane enough to accept, that's exactly what goes down.
Huh. You just discovered what it takes to become a legend. Grab your iron. Let's mobilize.
Welcome to Arasaka Tower.
Time to party like it's 2023.
Materials are not allowed on the premises. We wish you a pleasant
warehouse.
Cover me! Where is that?
Not me! I deserve to live!
Johnny Silverhand sends his regards.
Once you reach Mikoshi's access point, you jack in and get transported to cyberspace. Just like in the other ending, Alt says that your time is limited, but your body is all set for Johnny to inhabit. Allowing Johnny to keep your body just leads to the Temperance ending. Hence, if your choice is to live out your remaining time, Johnny accepts his fate, which is to merge with Alt. You bid farewell to Johnny and return to your body.
Goodbye, V. And never stop fighting.
Sometime later, you wake up in your fancy apartment and take a ride headed towards Afterlife. Upon your arrival, you relish the fact that you've become the newest Night City legend. You meet with your client, Mr. Blue Eyes, an enigmatic man with some powerful connections.
Mikoshi was quite the punch. You TKO'd Arasaka, in fact. Brought you eddies. Influence around town.
In your meeting with Mr. Blue Eyes, you're tasked with your biggest job yet, infiltrating the Crystal Palace, a world-famous space station, and making off with a cache of data. In the unlikely event you succeed, your long-term survival will be guaranteed, and you will be rewarded with riches beyond your wildest dreams. With overwhelming odds stacked against you, the story draws to a close as you prepare to embark on your most daring mission ever. And that was the Sun ending. Let's rewind back to the rooftop scene one last time and explore what happens if you ask Pan Am for help. This choice will be open to you if Pan Am side missions are completed, which involves rescuing Saul and helping the Aldecaldos acquire some advanced military tech. You call Pan Am and dump everything on her. You need to break into Arasaka Tower ASAP or you'll die.
You've called me at High Moon to ask me to help you break into Arasaka Tower. Or you'll die.
About the gist of it, yeah.
Okay.
Pan Am, being the ride or die homie she is, decides to lend you a hand and gives you a lift to the Aldecaldos camp. You join Pan Am and Saul as they discuss a plan, which is to dig a tunnel under Arasaka Tower while fending off the Militech forces in the area. After that discussion, you decide it's time to head into cyberspace to get Alt on board with the plan. Long story short, Alt's willing to help out, so you return to real space. You gather with the rest of the Aldecaldos, and Saul has a special announcement to make. He officially makes you a member of the Aldecaldos family.
You're one of us now, B. You're an Aldecaldo, damn it!
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
The next morning, you survey the construction site, the location for the impending assault. You and Pan Am then set out in the Basilisk, starting the attack. Once inside the construction site, you fight off the enemy forces as the Aldecaldos ready to drill. After the entrance is opened up, you head into the tunnel with Pan Am and regroup with Mitch and Saul. Mitch sets off to help the other Aldecaldos, so the three of you continue without him. Inside the control room, you start up the drill, creating an entry point into Arasaka Tower. You, Mitch, and Pan Am fight your way through the lower levels until Adam Smasher gets in the way. Adam's no match for you and Pan Am, leaving you the option to finish him off or spare him. Just to clarify, whether you decide to kill or spare Adam actually makes no difference to this story in any of the endings. Anyway, you make it inside Mikoshi and reunite with Johnny in cyberspace. You know how this goes. Alt shows up, says you got 6 months to live, and you have to decide whether to keep your body or surrender it to Johnny. The latter choice would just result in the Temperance ending, so let's see what happens if you keep your body. After saying your goodbyes to Johnny, you return to the real world. Atop an overpass with a breathtaking view of the city, you and Pan Am reminisce about your time together.
Perhaps that's why I need a good long look. One day this view will be a happy memory.
You come to realize that Night City was never the right place for you. Taking a discreet route, you join up with the other Aldecaldos and leave Night City. You're left with 6 months to live, yet Pan Am's connections give you some hope for survival. With the Aldecaldos by your side, you embrace your newfound freedom.
Well, it's perfect. All great, Pan Am. We're going home.
And that's it. That's Cyberpunk 2077 Condensed. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.